Hello students, today we are going to discuss about perquisites, what is perquisites, and we are also going to discuss one of the perquisites called rent-free unfurnished accommodation, in short RFA. So first of all, what is perquisite? In common parlance, perquisite means any casual emoluments or benefits attached to an office or position in addition to salary or wages, which is levied by availed by employee and given by employer. That is called perquisites. In other words, perquisites are nothing but one type of benefit in addition to the normal salary. So remember students, what is the difference between allowance and perquisite? Allowance Allowances are received in monetary terms, whereas perquisites are received in facility or benefits. Now you have to convert, or you have to find out the benefit value, and you have to convert that value in 2 rupees so that you can make it taxable. So now valuation of rent-free unfurnished accommodation RFA Rule 3 subsection 1. Rent-free accommodation is taxable in the hands of all employee except the judge of High Court or Supreme Court or official of the Parliament or Union Minister and a leader of opposition. So this is important for MCQ purpose also, for whom rent-free accommodation is exempt. For these people, High Court and Supreme Court judge, so for these people, official of the Parliament, Union Minister, leader of opposition, it is exempt. For remaining all people, it is taxable. So that is why it is important MCQ that you have to keep in mind. Provided by central government, state government. Let us say if it is provided by central government and state government employee, in that case how to determine the value of perquisite rent free accommodation, that is license fee. So this is also important. In case of government employee or provided by central government employee or provided to central government employee or state government employee, how to decide the value of perquisite? Just you have to find out the license fee, and that license fee will become the value of perquisite, and that is decided and that is given in the example. You have to write down, you have to find out what is the license fee printed in the example. That license fee will become value for the perquisite for that government employee, central government or state government employee. For other, the value of perquisite is determined as per the following table for non-government employee. Here we are going to discuss about non-government employee. So what are the tax treatment should be given in case of non-government employee? So it depends on majorly three things. First one, population. What is the population? Then whether employer is the owner of the house or not, and whether employer is has taken the house on a rental basis. So this will decide whether person will receive the benefit or not. So now three things. First one, accommodation is owned by employer. Second one, accommodation is not owned by the employer. Then what are the treatment should be given? How to find out the value of perquisites? And the third important point, city accommodation is provided. In which city or accommodation that is provided? If population of a particular city is 25 lakh as per 2001 census, then what you have to take? 15% of salary for the period during which the employee occupied the said accommodation. That means what, for let us say he has occupied the particular accommodation only for 10 months, you have to consider salary for 10 months. If he has occupied property for 11 months, in that case you have to consider salary of 11 months, and then you have to make 15% of that salary. and you have to make 15% of salary in that case. But first of all, when you have to remember, when you have to take 15%, when it is 25 lakh, population as per 2001 census is 25 lakh, then you have to take 15% of salary. When these conditions are applied, when employer is the owner of the house. But if employer is not the owner of the house, then we will discuss what conditions apply, but later on. Now, if population is exceeding 10 lakh but does not exceeding 25 lakh, that is as per 2001 census, in that case same treatment you have to do, but what percentage of salary you have to take? You have to take 10% of salary for the period during which the employee occupied the said accommodation. Means if he has occupied accommodation for 7 months, you have to find out the 7 months salary and make 10% of that 7 months salary. If he has occupied for full year, that means you have to find out the salary for the full year and then you have to make 10% of it. Now, if population is less than or equal to 10 lakh, in that case, what percentage you have to take? 7.5% of the salary for the period during which the employee occupied the said accommodation. That means here very clear cut idea is given. When population is exceeding 25 lakh, that means more than 25 lakh, more than, not 25 lakh. If it is not more than 25 lakh, then 15%. If it is more than 10 lakh but not exceeding 25 lakh, that is up to 25 lakh, then you have to take 10% of salary. And if population is less than 10 lakh, in that case 7.5% of salary. Now rent paid. Now second case, the when first is applied, remember, don't apply this one because this is either or. You can't apply both the concept. If employer is the owner of the house and he is providing accommodation to the employee, then this concept will apply. If employer is not the owner of the house, he has taken house on a rental basis and then he is providing that house to the employee, then this concept is applicable. You can't apply both the concept. So now let us discuss another point. Now in this point, uh, let us say rent paid by the employee and or paid or payable both are included. Paid means already paid and payable means yet to be paid by the employer, or 15% of salary, whichever is lower, that amount you have to consider. Means let us say rent paid by employer for the whole year is 50,000 and 15% of salary is 70,000. Now from these two value you have to take whichever is lower. So lower amount is 50,000. Then in this case 50,000 will become value of perquisite in case of rent free accommodation. This is the value. Same way, if the employer is the owner, then you have to make just 15%, 10%, and 7.5%, 7.5% of salary. Let us say a particular employee's house is located in Mumbai, and population of Mumbai is obviously more than 25 lakhs. Then you have to make 15% of it. Now let us say salary is 10 lakh. So now in this case, 15% of 10 lakh is 1.5 lakh. That means 1 lakh 50,000. That will become value of perquisite. So this way you have to find out the value of perquisite in case employer is the owner of the house and second one, employer is not the owner of the house. Now we will discuss further. If provided at a concessional rate, that means if employer is taking something in return from the employee, let us say taxable value is equal to value determined as above minus rent paid actually paid by the employee. Now, according to our calculation, we have find out rent free accommodation value is 50,000, let us say. But now for providing this facility, employer is charging 20,000 to employee per year. That means what? He is providing facility of 50,000, but for providing facility of this 50,000, he is charging 20,000. That means in this case, what is the actual value of perquisite? 30,000. Now you have to make taxable only 30,000. So what is your taxable value here? 30,000. Because here employer is taking something in return to provide the facility. So this is the way if provided at a concessional rate. Now if accommodation is in a hotel provided by the employer, then very simple. If accommodation is provided in hotel, then 24% of salary for the period during which accommodation is provided during the previous year, and actual charge paid or payable to such hotel by the employer. So let us say accommodation is provided for 2 months. So now you have to find out the salary for 2 months, and then you have to make 24% of it, and actual charges paid, whichever is lower, that will consider as your value of perquisite if accommodation is provided in a hotel. So this is also important for MCQ purpose. Short questions can be framed from the above table also. What is the percentage of salary if the employer is the owner of the house and population is more than 25 lakh? Then you have to give answer 15%. Same question can be asked in MCQ for 10% of salary, and same question can be asked for 7.5% of salary. You have to remember population limit plus percentage, how much percentage of salary you are taking for calculating rent free accommodation. So many MCQ can be asked from this table and from this explanation also. Now here we are now and then talking about salary. So actually we have to understand the meaning of salary, and here salary is having very broad meaning. Like salary include all the thing. Means basic also, that is basic salary, plus dearness allowance or dearness pay, whatever you can say, if it forms part of the retirement benefit. If does not form retirement benefit, then it is not to be considered. If it forms part of the retirement benefit, then only you have to consider. Bonus, then commission, means here normal commission is given. So whatever type of commission he is receiving, you have to add it. Fees, all other taxable allowances, means all types of allowances, only taxable amount. That means let us say house rent allowance. If person has received HRA of 50,000, from 50,000 20,000 is exempt, so then 30,000 is taxable. So whenever you are calculating salary for the purpose of rent free accommodation, you have to take taxable value, that is 30,000 in our case. So all types of allowances like helper allowance, research allowance, traveling allowance, transfer allowance, children education allowance, whatever is your taxable portion, that you have to include. All any other monetary payment by whatever name called, excluding perquisites and lump sum payment received at the time of termination of service or superannuation or voluntary retirement like gratuity, then severance pay, leave encashment, voluntary retrenchment benefit, commutation of pension and similar payments. In short, all types of retirement benefits are not included. So what is included? Once again, basic plus DA forming part plus bonus, commission, fees, all other taxable allowances, all things you have to include. And what not you have to include? You don't have to include dearness allowance if it is not a forming part. If it is not a forming part, don't include. Then all in case of all allowances, you have to include only taxable portion. Don't include exempted portion. So by making total of all these things, you will get the salary, total salary. And then whatever is your total salary, you have to make 15% of it or 10% of it or 7.5% of it. That depends on whether employer is the owner of the house and employer is not the owner of the house. Now exemption of 90 days in case of allotment of two houses. Now where an employee is transferred from one place to another and he is provided with an accommodation at a new place also, the value of perquisite shall be taken for only one such house having lower value for a period not exceeding 90 days. Thereafter, values of both such houses are taxable. That means if two houses are provided simultaneously, because reason is very simple, where because employee is transferred from one place to another place. So at a new place, he one more house will be provided to him. And what government is doing here, government is giving relaxation to the employee that you can treat only one house, you can treat only one house as a perquisite, and but that accommodation only for 90 days. If it is more than 90 days, don't consider it. That means in if it is more than 90 days, means you have to tax both the houses. Let us say, understand with one example. Mr. X has given two houses, house 1 and house 2. House 2 accommodation is provided by employer because he is transferred from one place to another place. So now for this house 90 days, and this house also 90 days. So then you person has to treat only one house as a taxable portion. He can, let us say, value of perquisite for house 1 is 50,000, and value of house perquisite for the house 2 is 60,000. Then he can choose which house or which value he will take. So here obviously he will take 50,000. That is okay. But if he is staying in both the house for more than 90 days, let us say in both the houses he is staying for more than 90 days, that is 180 days, then in that case you have to treat house 1 and house 2, both the houses, you have to find out the value of perquisite, then make the total, and you have to pay tax on the total. So this is all about if house is provided at a two different places. Now next point that we are going to discuss is valuation of rent free furnished accommodation. Now along with the, up till now we had talked about only unfurnished accommodation. Now what treatment should be given if along with the accommodation furniture is also provided? Furnished accommodation means what? Accommodation plus furniture value. So just you have to find out value of accommodation by applying 15, 10, 7.5 or rent whatever, and then value of furniture you have to add. And how to find out value of furniture? Very simple. If employer is the owner of the furniture and providing furniture to the employee, then make 10% of original cost of furniture. But if furniture is taken on a higher basis, hired by the employer, then actual higher charges paid or payable by the employer will become its taxable value. Whatever higher charges he is paying, you have to add. Let us say fifth person is living in a Mumbai, and perquisite value is according to 15%. It is, let us say, 50,000. Now value of furniture is, let us say, 10,000. So now, what is the total value of rent-free furnished accommodation? Here, total value for rent-free furnished accommodation is 60,000. So that you have to consider now. So this way, very simple. If furniture is also provided along with the accommodation, then you have to add the value of furniture into your previous calculation, and you can find out the value. Here, what is the meaning of furniture? Furniture means you can say that refrigerator, television, radio, air conditioner, and other household appliances, etc. Then the above rule is applicable to government as well as non-government employee also, because in license fee, in case of government employee, rent free accommodation is decided on the basis of license fee, and in that also you have to find out the value of furniture. So add value of furniture which is decided as per this table into the license fee, you will get a rent free accommodation, furnished accommodation valuation for government employee also. So both the type of employee, valuation rule for furniture is same. So from that also one question, one MCQ can be asked, what is the, how to decide the value of furniture in case of furniture provided by employer, that is 10%. And if it is the employer is paying some rent of it, then whatever rent paid by for the furniture will become its value. Now, to get better understanding, let us discuss one example so that you understand in a better way. Miss Tuti has the following salary structure: basic salary 15,000 per month, dearness allowance 5,000 per month, and it is total forming part of the retirement benefit. That means full dearness allowance you have to consider. Now, hostel allowance 1,000 per month and does not have any child. Means if he does not have any child, that means there is no deduction. But because hostel allowance is allowed only when person has a child. Tiffin allowance 500 per month. It is fully taxable. Bonus 20,000 per annum, fully taxable. Then next one, commission 15,000 per annum, fully taxable. Then transport allowance 2,400, fully taxable. She has been provided a rent-free accommodation owned by employer in Kolkata. Means Kolkata is a metro city. Metro city means you have to take 15% of salary, but first of all identify whether the employer is the owner of the house or not. So here clearly written, employer is the owner of the house, means owned by employer. Rent free accommodation owned by employer means employer is the owner of the house. In that case 15, 10, and 7.5% is applicable, but we have to take 15% because here name of the city is Kolkata and population of Kolkata is more than 25 lakh. The house was allotted to her with effect from 1st June 2021, but she could occupy the same only for 1/6/2021 and onwards. So whenever you are calculating salary, you have to start your calculation. You have to find out salary from 1st June 2021 to 31st March 2022. That is 10 months. So whenever you are calculating any benefit, you have to make you have to convert that benefit for 10 months only, because whenever you are calculating rent free accommodation, you have to consider the period for from which he is occupying the for which he is or she is occupying the house. Here she is occupying the house only for 10 months, so you have to find out the value accordingly. So first of all, let us discuss computation of gross taxable salary. We have to find out only gross taxable salary, not net taxable salary of Miss Tuti for the assessment year 2022-23, particulars amount rupees. So first of all, basic salary fully taxable. How this 1,80,000 come? That is 1,80,000 means here 15,000 per month multiply by 12. So 15,000 multiply by 12, 1,80,000 bonus, commission and allowances. You can make it 60,000. Hostel allowance fully taxable as she has no child, 12,000. Tiffin allowance 6,000. Transport allowance 2,400. So total allowance, value of total allowance is 80,400, and that will be added in the above value. Now perquisite, we have to find out the perquisite only here. So rent free accommodation 36,925. If you add all this, you will get 3,32,325. Now we have to understand here this above calculation is very simple. But how to find out this 36,925? For that we have to find out the salary. Now basic salary, here what we will consider, all the taxable all taxable allowances, all basic salary, bonus, DA, etc. all things we will consider. So first of all basic salary, second bonus, commission, allowances, DNS allowance fully taxable, so that is why we have considered only taxable part. Hostel allowance no exemption, whatever she has received fully taxable, so we have taken full value. Then tiffin allowance, total value, transport allowance, total value. So total is 2,95,400. This is total salary for the whole year. Total salary for the whole year. So why we are doing it? So how to find out the value of rent-free accommodation? So now as she is living in Kolkata, so we have to take 15% of salary. Then 2,95,400, that is value of total salary. Then you will get one answer. Then you have to multiply the answer by 10 divided by 12. Why 10 divided by 12? Because you want to find out value of rent free accommodation only for 10 months, not for the whole year. So 36,925 will come. You can do in your calculator. So your answer gets confirmed, and you have to write down the same here. So first of all, you have to do this working, and then only you are in a position to get this answer. If you make total of all this, you will get 3,32,325. This is your gross salary. After gross salary, certain deductions are available, but we have to calculate up to gross salary only. So that is why we have calculated up to here. This can be asked in 5 mark question also. And some of the MCQ which already I discussed, rate of percentage like 15, 7.5, 10% in case of furniture, how to find out the value, all those things can be asked. And one small example related to this, very small example, can also be asked in the examination. If salary is given, you have to find out just whether 15%, 12%, the 10% or 7.5% is applicable. That you have to tell, because salary is given and you have to make 15, 10 or 7.5%, that you have to find out. So this way MCQ can be asked from this. Now thank you very much for watching my video. If you have any doubt, please write down in a comment box. I will try to make reply of it.